Salah bint Suhail was the wife of Abu Hudhaifa. They had a freed slave named Salim, who was already with them since he was a little boy.
Since Salim was a grown-up now, Abu Hudhaifa started to feel uneasy when Salim entered their house to meet his wife.
What time do you plan to go? Okay then.
Yes, I will go there soon. Why? Sure, you can come with me. What's going on? Why you act like that?
Well, it's just not right for you to be alone with an adult man.
He is Salim. We know him since he was little.
I know. Am I wrong to feel this way? I just don't know.
Salah realized that Islam forbids her to be in the same room with a man who was not her relative or husband.
I better ask Rasulullah about this problem.
Soon after that, Salah went to Rasulullah's mosque.
Oh Rasulullah, I have a question for you.
What can I do to help you, Salah?
We consider Salim as a son, and he often visits me while I am uncovered. We only have one room, so what do you think about the situation?
Suckle him 10 times. After that, he will be your mahram by it, and then he can visit you freely.
Suckle him? Are you okay, sir? How can I suckle him as he is a grown-up man?
I already know that he is a young man.
Salah had never heard such incredibly odd advice from anyone, let alone from someone claiming to be the prophet of God. Feeling confused, Salah returned home.
Is it worth my time to meet him? His directive seems absurd, but then again, he is considered the messenger of Allah Almighty, isn't he?
Salah told her husband about Prophet Muhammad's command.
How does suckling an adult establish him as our relative? He's not our son under any circumstances.
Maybe I should give it a try. After all, the Prophet always received inspiration from Allah, who is the most known and the most wise.
When Salim entered the house, Salah shared Rasulullah's advice with him.
Salim, Rasulullah advised you to suckle my breast 10 times so you can be our relative.
Really? How can that be?
Yes, that's what he said, if you want to be our mahram, our relative.
Oh, okay. Whatever Rasulullah said, ma'am.
Salim cherished Sahla bint Suhail and Abu Hudhaifa, who raised him since childhood. He decided to obey them as a sign of respect to this couple and to remain an integral part of their lives. It is plausible that Salah may have utilized herbs or medications to enhance her milk production. According to the consensus of many Muslim scholars, women have the potential to produce breast milk independent of pregnancy or childbirth through the use of substances that stimulate lactation. They assert that even a virgin who has never experienced marriage can induce lactation through such stimulation. This perspective is supported by scholars such as Malik, Ash-Shafi'i, and Abu Hanifa, and is considered more valid by Hanbali scholars like Al-Mardawi and Ibn Qudama.
Wow. Are you sure about this, ma'am?
Yes, go ahead. Don't hesitate.
All right, then.
It was probable that Abu Hudhaifa was not present at home to witness the breastfeeding process. He might have been outside the house, feeling perplexed about what was transpiring between his wife and Salim.
Hey, Abu Hudayfa, where's your wife? She's usually right by your side at this time. Not in the mood for talking, huh? How about a cup of fresh milk to cheer you up? Hey, Abu Anwar, we need more milk here. Have you finished milking the cow?
Working hard here, sir. Almost done.
You know you have to squeeze the breast and nipple a lot to make the milk come out. Suck it hard, you know?
Don't suck it so hard.
Oh, sorry. I just want the milk to come out.
Yeah, once I've got the technique down, just look at how much milk I can pump out. Here is the milk, sir.
That's great! Abu Hudayfa, you want some? Hey, where are you going? Did I say something bad? Why he suddenly left?
Yeah, wonder why. Our milk is not that bad.
Remember, Salim, Rasulullah said we had to do this 10 times.
Sure, anytime, ma'am.
According to Hadith Sahih Muslim, after the breastfeeding process was completed, Abu Hudhaifa considered Salim as his relative. However, these accounts do not provide insight into how a husband would be comfortable with a grown man suckling his wife's breast multiple times.
You are our mahram now.
I certainly feel that way, ma'am.
I guess I should welcome you to the family.
Thank you, sir.
It works. By Allah, I did not see any sign of disgust in my husband's face.
Salah discussed about this with Aisha and Hafsa.
After I breastfed Salim, I saw him as my foster son.
Alhamdulillah. I have to try this too.
Me too.
There are some men I want to meet at my house. Breastfeeding them will surely make them my foster brothers, and they can visit me easily. Breastfeeding all of them would be a hard task. I should ask my sister and nieces to help me.
Aisha took that as a precedent for whatever men she wanted to be able to come to see her. After that, Aisha met her sister, Kulthum bint Abu Bakr, and the daughters of her brother.
Dear my family, please breastfed whichever men I wanted to come to see me.
Whichever men? Who are they?
Who gave you that idea? That's the order of Rasulullah. Are you serious? Really? He ordered that?
After that, they were busy suckling any male stranger that Aisha wanted to meet in her house. Hafsa also have the same understanding and intention. She came to her sister, Fatima bint Umar ibn al-Khattab.
I always want to have certain men to come to visit me in my house. This adult breastfeeding is the solution for that. Sister, please breastfeed Asim ibn Abdullah ibn Saad so he can become our mahram.
Breastfeeding a grown-up man? Wow.
Yes, Rasulullah said so.
Okay then, come on in, Asim.
Once the suckling is done, he would be my foster brother, and he can visit me in my house.
Aisha also took the initiative to breastfeed certain men, thereby granting them access to her. This information is mentioned in Fatah ul Muniyim, Shar Sahih Muslim, by Musa Shaheen Lashin, Volume 5, page 622. Aisha opined that adult breastfeeding makes an individual maram, and she practically breastfed a young man, and he would enter upon her, but the remainder mothers of the believers denied it. The prominent Salafi preacher, Mustafa al-Adawi, admitted that Aisha breastfed men to give them access to her.
ما ورد في فتح المنعم في شرح صحيح في شرح صحيح مسلم لموسى شاهين لاشين الجزء الخامس صفحة 622 أنه قال إنه يدخل عليها الغلام الأيسع وكانت عائشة رضي الله عنها ترى أن الرضاع الكبير يحرم وأرضعت غلاما فعلا وكان يدخل عليها. فهل كانت عائشة ترضع شباب قريش؟ هل يجوز ذلك أن تعطيهم الحليب من صدرها؟
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. فهذا رأي رأته أم المؤمنين عائشة رضي الله عنها واجتهدت وجانبها الصواب، وهي بشر، هي بشر اجتهدت وجانبها الصواب. بارك الله فيك. ونحن بشر، أما العصمة فليست لأحد إلا للرسل عليهم الصلاة والسلام. السلام عليكم.
Also in Tafsir al-Tahrir wa al-Tanwir by Ibn Ashur, Volume 4, page 297. This is the Quran tafsir of Surah An-Nisa, verse 23. If Aisha, the mother of the believers, wished for a man to enter her presence, she would do so by breastfeeding him with the approval of Prophet Muhammad. During that period, the directive of adult breastfeeding was outlined in the Quran.
This breastfeeding will solve the problem where an unmarried man and woman need to be alone together for some reason. By having the woman breastfeed the man 10 times, they become legally related as if she were his foster mother. This will prevent the temptation of engaging in sexual relations between them.
While the Quran is considered eternal, Allah could easily change His mind for no apparent reason. In this case, it's believed that Allah later revised the requirement from 10 sucklings to 5, deeming it sufficient. Sahih Muslim 3422. Amra reported that she heard Aisha discussing fosterage, which makes marriage unlawful, and Aisha said,
"There was revealed in the Holy Quran 10 clear sucklings, and then 5 clear sucklings."
Sahih Muslim 3421. Aisha reported that,
"It had been revealed in the Holy Quran that 10 clear sucklings make the marriage unlawful. Then it was abrogated by 5 sucklings, and Allah's apostle died, and it was before that time found in the Holy Quran and recited by the Muslims."
But these verses aren't in the Quran we have today. So what happened to them? Aisha tells us what happened to the first verse.
The verse of stoning and of breastfeeding an adult 10 times was revealed, and the paper was with me under my pillow. When the messenger of Allah died, we were preoccupied with his death, and a tame sheep came in and ate it.
Either breastfeeding an adult 10 times and 5 times are not in the Quran today, so we can only conclude that both verses on breastfeeding adults were eaten by Aisha's sheep. Whether it was accidental or intentional is open to interpretation and debate. Apart from Aisha and Hafsa, the other wives of Prophet Muhammad became displeased with the practice and argued that Allah's command to breastfeed adults did not apply to them.
You want us to do that? Just who do you think
Muwatta Malik, Book 30, Hadith 12. The rest of the wives of the Prophet refused to let anyone come into them by such nursing. They said,
"No, by Allah. We think that what the Messenger of Allah ordered Salah bint Suhail to do was only by an indulgence concerning the nursing of Salim alone."
"No, by Allah, no one will come in upon us by such nursing."
It's obvious that Prophet Muhammad's wives found the practice of grown women breastfeeding grown men to avoid sexual tension to be troublesome and nonsensical. Even though the breastfeeding verses are no longer in the Quran, some Islamic scholars maintain that the practice is still commanded by Allah, even in modern times, despite the verses having been eaten by a goat. This has led to the emergence of new breastfeeding fatwas periodically. Dr. Izzat Atiyah of Egypt's Al-Azhar University said it offered a way around segregation of the sexes at work. He said that if a woman fed a male colleague directly from her breast at least 5 times, they would establish a family bond and thus be allowed to be alone together at work. A woman at work can take off the veil or reveal her hair in front of someone whom she breastfed.
I'm a stewardess who works in an airplane to serve my passengers. Do I have to breastfeed hundreds of male passengers before I can do my job?
I use public transportation to go to work every day. Do I have to breastfeed everyone on the bus first before I can ride the bus?
Following this incident, Al-Azhar University suspended Dr. Izzat Atiyah, likely due to embarrassment, despite the fact that they were aware of the validity of the ahadith commanding the breastfeeding of an adult. Sheikh Alabai Khan thus modernizes Dr. Izzat's position that the man must breastfeed directly from the teat by suggesting, the man should take the milk, but not directly from the breast of the woman. He should drink it and then becomes a relative of the family, a fact that allows him to come in contact with the women without breaking Islam's rules about mixing.
We don't need this useless Sharia law in our life.
Sharia's main target is always women. In one instance, she is required to conceal her body, in another to expose it or to unabashedly pump milk from it, without any right to voice her opinion or interfere in issues that concern her body and personal needs. Romance with a boyfriend is forbidden. Looking at a man is a sin. Expressions of love are contemptible, but as for breastfeeding adults, that is permissible, halal, and encouraged.
The fact that Prophet Muhammad would command a woman to nurse a man is shameful and disgusting to say the least.
Isn't it obvious that he is a misogynist?